Hola, muy buenos días a todos, bienvenidos a un nuevo video, bienvenidos a mi canal. Mi nombre es Eddie Ramírez, soy consultora miembro ICCRC y como ustedes saben me dedico a ayudarlos a ustedes a venir para Canadá. En el video de hoy vamos a tocar un tema del que muchas personas pues están interesados en hacer y es buscar trabajo a Canadá, obviamente. Pero sabemos cómo hacer un currículo, por dónde aplicar, toda la historia. Pero no sabemos qué pasa en la vida real cuando somos entrevistados por un jefe canadiense que nos quiere contratar. Así que yo logré conseguir una empresa canadiense llamada DELL, una empresa muy famosa en la parte de informática, para que me entrevistara. Es una persona que yo conozco dentro de esta compañía y le pedí el favor que hiciera conmigo una entrevista como si yo fuese a aplicar un trabajo en esta empresa. Así que aquí hago un disclaimer gigante. Yo no estoy aplicando ningún trabajo en DELL, yo no voy a dejar Immiland, es nada más una muestra de una entrevista canadiense para que ustedes vean y escuchen las preguntas que hacen aquí y practiquen cómo hacer su propia entrevista. El nombre de la persona que me va a entrevistar es Jessica Pettigrew. Ella es VMware Inside Sales Manager. Ella es la manager de las ventas de un software llamado VMware que vende DELL. Y ella tiene un equipo de 6 personas a su cargo aquí en Canadá. Está buscando contratar a alguien y yo sé al respecto y por eso le dije que me entrevistara a mí como si yo fuese a aplicar el trabajo. Es toda una mentira la entrevista, pero es para que ustedes vean las preguntas típicas y cómo las respondemos. Mi objetivo principal de esta entrevista es mostrarles a ustedes que, pues primero las preguntas que hacen, cómo responderlas y tercero, yo estoy aplicando a un puesto en el que jamás he trabajado. Yo ni siquiera sé pronunciar el nombre del software que ellos venden. No tengo ni idea de lo que ellos hacen. Sé que es una empresa en tecnología, pero nunca en mi vida he trabajado en esa área de ventas de tecnología. Yo trabajo en la parte legal. Y quizás ella después va a hacer un video en el que va a decir si me contrata o no. O sea, como si la entrevista fuese cierta, me contrataría para el puesto o no me contrataría. Entonces, aquí vamos a ver cómo manejar incluso personas que no aplican a un puesto sin tener la experiencia y cómo vendernos como un perfecto producto para que ese puesto sea para nosotros y nos contraten. Espero que este video sea muy útil, que lo disfruten y consigan aquí información súper importante acerca de su proceso migratorio canadiense en la parte práctica que es conseguir la oferta de trabajo. Besos, disfrútenlo. Bye bye.
Hi Eddie, thank you for joining today. Thanks for taking the time out of your really busy schedule to sit down with me and do this interview.
Hi Jess, thank you so much for having me today, and I hope this interview is gonna be pretty good for myself.
Yeah, no worries. I'm sure it is. And typically this interview format is about 25 minutes. So if you have any questions, feel free to interrupt me at any time. And since we don't have a lot of time, let's just get right into it.
Perfect,
so,
let's do it.
I have your resume and CV in front of me, and I mean I can read and I can see what it says, but I would love to hear about your CV and your career from you. So in 2 to 3 minutes or 2 minutes, could you provide me a quick intro on your career path?
Sure. Well, thanks for having me. My name is Eddie Ramirez, as you can see. I am from Venezuela. I'm a new immigrant in Canada. And for the last years, I have studied law in the country. I graduated as a lawyer in my country, Venezuela. I immigrated here, and I kept studying to get my credentials as a lawyer. However, the last 3 years, I have worked as an immigration consultant on the side of consulting, and as well as a CEO of my company, which is Immiland, Canada, or was Immiland, Canada. And well, I have specialized in all the area of law in the legal field of immigration, but also I have developed a really huge interest in like all the sales world, or what has to be consulting, controlling and managing people and employees, and also selling products to my clients.
Wow, that's quite impressive, Eddie. That whole career path is quite a journey, and I'm sure you're just getting started in Canada. So I'm curious, why now would you look into going into sales? And I mean, your current job is you're selling every day, but why do you want to come work with us?
Well, I had my company, which was really successful, but due to the last times of the pandemic and the changes of immigration, I had to decide to look into something else. So I'm not going to be the CEO anymore, but I during these 2 years of having my own company, I realized how good in sales I am and how good I can express to people. And when I want to sell a product or even a service, I'm able to redevelop what I'm selling and find the right persons to trust on the product and the service they're purchasing. So that was my first thing. And also being the CEO is just working mostly with employees. So I didn't have really like access to my clients directly, and I wanted to, but I was always focusing on managing a company of 18 people, and that took all my time. So, but on the part-time, I could say I was also getting access to my clients, and I was selling them the products or the dream to immigrate to Canada, and I was really good at it. So I believe I have really a lot of potential to sell products or services to another companies. So that's why I'm looking into working in a new field as a salesperson.
Great. Yeah, I think at DELL, and especially the inside sales roles, you don't we would be lucky to have someone like you that has experience of selling, especially selling, such a hard thing like immigration and the process. It must not be easy for anyone.
No, it's not.
Just come into Canada. It's hard. I mean, Canada's an amazing country, and I'm happy you decided to move here. But it's tough. So with that being said, and you bring a lot of skills, it sounds like you have a lot of skills that my team could utilize. What would, and I ask this in every single interview, and what would you bring to my team if I decided to hire you? So is there a certain skill or something that you would teach them?
Sure. I believe myself to be a great multitasker. Like I have the skills to divide my brain into different areas and be able to control different things at the same time without putting or jeopardizing any of them. So I will be 100% in all of them, and it's because I value the time. For me, time is the most precious thing at work. So I cannot consider myself to spend 1 hour in one thing while I could be doing more stuff at the same time and delivering more stuff. So that will be my first objective, to be able to teach people to manage their time in a proper way that will allow them to invest the time, not in only one task, but more at the same time, and providing the results 100% in all of them. As well, I'm a very responsible person. I could be obsessive with my job because I wanted everything to be perfect. I want to deliver an amazing job for my supervisor, if I have one, and also for my clients. So I don't accept mistakes on my own performance. So that will also be something I will implement it in your company. I'm responsible and multitasking, and as well, I'm entrepreneurship. So I see opportunities and I take it. So if I see there is something that it could be improved in your department, something that I could make better, a product that we could sell better, something that we are not taking into account and we should be taking into account more, I will definitely, I don't know with who I have to talk because I don't know how it works inside of DELL, but I will try to find a way to escalate that product and put it to sell better. So that entrepreneurship mind that I have will always try to improve your company as it was mine, because I'm part of it. I will always work more than I'm required to make of my department a better place.
That's great. Speaking of time management and multitasking, the funny thing is next week at DELL we have a time management course. So okay. I'm sure if you were to join our team, you could even collaborate with the trainer on best practices, because we definitely don't know it all. So that's a great skill that my team is lacking. I mean, I'm very good. I'm very, very good at it. And I was able to teach that to 18 employees. That at the end, when I received them at the company, some of them were very good, but some other were scared of, we all are able to do it. I believe we are able to divide our brain and work in different stuff, but we are scared. We're scared of failing or getting super stressed. I just believe we have to train and to practice. I had this 3 months internship with my employees, on which I was just focusing on them to teach them that. And the results were amazing at the end. They were like, Eddie, I cannot believe I'm doing this to myself. I cannot believe my brain is doing that. And that is incredible for myself. Wow, that's great. Yeah, it's a hard skill, but I would say for any inside sales job, whether at DELL or wherever you decide to go, Eddie. Time management, because we have so many different things to manage. We have the operational part of our job, we have sometimes social media, and then we have our customers that are really important and what customers take priority over another customer. And then you have your boss asking you to do certain things. So to be able to have that skill is something.
Now that you mentioned social media, I'm not sure if I really went deep into that topic in my CV, because I tried to make it more like professional on the area I was applying for. But on social media, I'm very, very knowledgeable. Like I have my own YouTube channel and I have a big platform of followers that I was able to develop myself. I never counted on a manager to control it. So I grew a YouTube channel of 160,000 subscribers with videos that go up to 1 million viewers. Also, I have an amazing reach and impact on Instagram and Facebook, and I develop all them by myself. So since I come from a startup, I know we have as employees to adapt to different positions. So I really don't see any trouble or problem to work on sales, but also be able to consult or give advices to the department of social media. I'm super able to do it, and I'm open to help different departments, even though I'm working on one of them. So that will be also something you could find.
The great thing with DELL and some companies is you really get to develop your own brand. So you can either work with the DELL social media department that is, they have a massive headquarters in Texas that is constantly working on the branding, or you can develop your own. Take a social media course at DELL, and then you're allowed to speak on behalf of DELL. And as long as you use certain hashtags that I work for DELL, you're allowed to build out your own brand and reach as many customers as you want through social media. So it's very cool.
Well, that's very cool.
That is neat that DELL offers. So speaking of, I'm hearing you have a lot of skills that you can bring to the team. I do have one question about challenge and conflict, and I mean, I'm sure you knew this was coming, but tell me about a time that, whether it's at Immiland or wherever you worked in the past, tell me about a time that you had a challenge or a conflict that you faced at work, and how did you deal with it? Is there anything, looking back on the situation, that you could have done better?
Sure. I could say in my experience, I have two types of challenge. One could be based on my employees, and the other one with my clients. So I will explain them both very, very quickly. With employees, I believe one of the biggest issue we have when we are in a managing position is that we don't know what's going on in the brain of the employee. So they could show you that they are happy, but at the end they are not. So it's like a communication issue. And I believe what I had to learn better before was to be able to communicate with them in a more casual way, less formal, more like I'm your friend, I'm here to support you, and to make sure the employee knows the manager or the superior is not there to judge a person, but just to support. So I would like to deal better with communication with employees in that way, so they know they have my support and they can trust me as a superior, and they can come to me if they have something. So instead of just quitting or going to a complaint, they could just have solved that in a better way. That will be something I would have improved faster in my company than I did. So that things is the way I resolve those type of issues there, becoming a better listener and being more like on the side of the employee. As well, in the second hand, if it's focused on the clients, my first reaction, that was in Immiland, okay? So I have to hear two parts. So I have to see what is the complaint of the client, see who is the complaint against you. So is it against an employee exactly, that's the entire company, what is going on? So I need to hear the employee, see what's going on there, and then the first thing I will do is reach out the person who the complaint was made out of. Like, if it's about this person, okay, what's going on with this client? So we have a call, 20 minutes, the consultant explains what happened, and then I go back to the client and I try to explain the client what's going on. At Immiland, sometimes it is really hard because the client is focused that he wants to come to Canada in a certain way, but the consultant says this is not the way. So the client is very angry because he wanted to hear something different, and he believes the consultant is not doing a good job. So on my experience, I always had to deal with the client, find a way to explain what really happened, like backing up my consultant in case I had to, because like sometimes they also commit mistakes. If the mistake was made on the consultant, apologize to the client and providing something different, like what? Reimburse the money they pay, give them another consultation for free, or give them a discount on a service that we have. So always trying to, if it was the fault of the consultant, try to make the client feel better, or if it wasn't the fault of the consultant, really explain to the client what happened, like why we don't, like this is not how it has to be performed. So that's the way I resolve issues inside my company before.
That's really good. At the beginning, Eddie, I didn't know where you were headed with the answer, but it does come down to the client, and I think whether IT clients or immigration clients, it's the client always wants to have the best experience possible, and it
completely.
sounds like you definitely offer that whether there's a situation or not. So that's
of
great
course,
to hear.
always it's just about explaining. Sometimes it's even like the client didn't understand what the consultant explained on the call, but I didn't want to explain the same but with a different language, and the client is like, he understands what the consultant said, which was the same I said but in another language, and he's happy at the end. So it's all about communication. Even with employees, it's communication. Clients, it's communication. It's just trying to solve issues, communication, and quickly respond, and not ignoring the client, because that's the worst thing we can do. Ignore a client.
100%. Oh yeah.
And like just be there, feeling like if you are the client, and what as a client would you be expecting from that company, and apply it on the person.
Absolutely. Well, I see the clock is running here, and I've been talking the whole time. So I'm wondering, do you have any questions for me?
Yes, I have some of them. I just wanted to ask you, could you please describe a day at DELL? How's every day? I know we work from home. We also work from home in your company. Like, we start at what time? The schedules are fixed, or we have to give to more work over hours? How it works?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So I'll try to summarize it as much as I can. So on my team, or whatever team at DELL, if you're an inside sales representative, your day typically starts whenever your customers do, and I'm sure that's the same at the company you work at, Immiland. It's if the customers start at 9 a.m., you have to make sure you are available from 9 a.m. till, let's say, 5 p.m.
Okay.
Currently in the pandemic, and even prior to the pandemic, we were allowed to work from home 2 to 3 times a week.
Okay.
Now, because of the pandemic, we are fully operational, working remotely. We don't even call it working from home anymore, because everybody is working remotely, except the people that need to go on site for certain technical roles. But all the salespeople are working from home. So you start your day. I usually start at 8:30. Because you have emails from the day before potentially that you need to catch up on. So our business is, I would say, as an inside sales role, it's 50% operations. So you're creating quotes for customers, proposals, and getting on the phone to meet as many new clients as possible. Because when you call from DELL Technologies, it's such a strong brand in the industry, most of the time you're not going to have a difficult time talking to clients, because they don't hang up on you.
Okay.
And that's not to say we're cocky or confident that we're DELL Technologies, but DELL is a very impressive technology company. Most people want to hear what we have to say, even if it's for 2 or 3 minutes. So I would say you talk to about, depending on your territory, because you'll get assigned a territory across Canada. So some people cover Ontario, the western side of Canada, eastern. Depending on where your clients are, you can make and the territory. So are they already buying from DELL? Are they not buying from DELL? You can make up to 5 to 25 calls per day to talk to customers.
Wow. Okay.
And this is just introducing yourself. You don't need, especially starting out in IT and doing this career change, you don't need to know everything that there is to know about IT. That can all be trained, but those skills that you mentioned, time management, presentation skills, just getting on the phone and explaining to customers and talking to them, those things are harder to teach than the IT component. So
I want to ask you also that like how do I fit with the rest of the person that are applying for the position, because I've never worked for an IT company, so I don't know if I have the skills to do it, but I am good at selling. So how would that put me like with the rest?
Yeah, I've hired so far 2 or 3 people that knew nothing about IT.
Okay.
And my team is 6 people.
Okay. So it's a good percentage. Okay.
Yeah, half of them didn't know anything. And, you know, at the 1 year mark, you're expected to really know the portfolio of what we're selling. But DELL has such a robust training program that the first 6 months you're training, you're getting on the phone, but there's a ramp up time to learn the product and learn what we're selling and learn the vision. So looking at the other candidates that have applied, some do have the technical experience that I'm looking for, but then some might be missing some of those soft skills that we talked about and some of the skills that are, you know, maybe a little harder to teach than the technical components. Because at DELL, everything seems to fit together, and so you can slowly build on your technical knowledge. I started my career at DELL and I knew nothing about computers.
Okay.
And now, you know, 10 years later, I'm building my own computer. I'm talking to some of the best companies in Canada and finding solutions for their IT needs.
Congratulations.
So thank you. But you don't need to start, you need to start somewhere, and you can build on it. If you have a passion to learn, you will of course learn in the job.
Thank you for answering that, and it gave me a lot of relief, because I was really stressed before the call, because I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna apply for a job that I don't have experience, this is gonna be a joke. But thank you for appreciation. And this is the last question. I come as a CEO, so for me it's like a big change to become a sales representative, and I just wanted to know, like, is there a chance for me to grow in your company? Can I grow in, like, of course depending on my performance, but is there an opportunity of growing inside of the company?
Yeah, absolutely. So DELL Technologies, there's so many sub-companies under DELL Technologies.
Okay.
This role that you've applied for is under the software organization, but there's networking, there is, if you don't like selling IT, there is coaching how to sell IT. If you want to go into the social media part and stop selling, you can go there. There's so many different departments, whether it's finance, operations, selling, coding, building out. Once you get into DELL and you start learning about the culture and you can learn about the different departments, you can go anywhere you want. You can go across the world if you want. There's opportunities to travel as well. It does scare me a little bit that you're a CEO and you're coming here. But I think you're doing a whole change, industry change, and I think
I gave my 100% to build what I had, and if whatever I go to work, I will give my 100% again. There is no difference of the position I will have. It doesn't matter what I am. I will always give my best. I had it before being a CEO. I work as everything. I work as a cooker, waitress, everything you can do, name it. I did it. And I was always giving my 100%.
You're very adaptable.
Yeah, everything. Like if you put me to clean floors, I will clean it my 100%. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I will always give my best.
I won't have you clean floors.
It's okay if I have to. I don't care.
Maybe just your own at home, because you'll be working from home.
But I will always give my best, and that's what I can say of myself. Thank you so much.
That's great to hear. Do you have any other questions?
No, on my side, I understood everything. Thank you.
Perfect. So the next round, we should be able to contact you by next Friday.
Okay.
To tell you next steps. If you're getting a second interview, we're hoping to give the offer by April. But I would like to say thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today. I know we've gone over a little bit of time, and I just appreciate you taking the time today.
Thanks to you for having me, and I appreciate your time as well, and I hope I can hear back from you very soon. Have a great day, Jess.
Great.
Bye. Thank you so much, Jessica. Bye-bye.